But we don't have an intro bit where we're talking because that got deleted.
It's not deleted. It's still there.
Well,
you
isn't deleted.
Not now.
Yet.
You closed it.
It didn't close it. It's still here. It's just
in a tab.
It's over
Wait, this
one.
should be the
I got
opening
this
bit.
Well, it is now.
one.
My name is Bradley Jones,
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
and this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to recall the events of a film that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Jeepers Creepers.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
All right, so
So Justin Long and his sister are in a car.
they're in a car.
It takes place some country land.
I'm gonna say
Yes.
Michigan.
Some midwestern.
Was that the original story that was Michigan?
Yes.
Yes.
The Unsolved Mysteries bit?
Correct.
Yes, so basically this opening is based off of an old Unsolved Mysteries bit that did take place in Michigan.
Okay.
So, but
So
I
they're
don't
just
know.
arguing about something innocuous. I think they're
They're
at
I'm pretty
odds
sure
with each other?
they're on vacation from college, or they're on like a
That
spring
sounds right.
break or something.
Right, yeah,
If they're on spring break, then it's got to be somewhere.
If they're
where
at spring
it's-
break.
where it's
They
warm.
chose a bad place to be.
Yeah.
I think they're just
Don't-
traveling from
It's like they were
point A
like
to point
they were
B
like
somehow.
Cancun, middle of nowhere cornfields with murderers. And then they chose the other one. I don't know.
No, but like maybe they're going back home from college or something like that.
Okay. That sounds plausible.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasons, but they're in a car and they're driving, and they see a guy doing something mysterious near a hole.
Well,
I think before that, go
they
ahead.
run into the truck beforehand, where like this truck just starts like comes out of nowhere and starts like tailgating them.
No, because that's the reason they get tailgated. Because
No,
think
he
this
tailgates
happens
them afterwards.
twice.
He does it twice.
He does
Like,
it twice.
The truck like
Oh.
scares them first.
Why would he do that?
So what he does is I think they're playing like some license plate game or something like that. They're like reading license plates
Okay.
on this ride. There's like a random point in the beginning where like they have like a bathroom break or something like that. I don't remember the relevance of that. But then they're back on the car, and out of nowhere, this guy comes up behind them and starts honking his horn, and he's like swerving behind them.
And it's
Yeah.
this giant, janky metal truck.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
like
a tank.
It's
Yeah,
sharp.
it's like
It's
ancient
like a Mad
busted-up
Max
pickup truck.
Fury
Yeah, it
Road
is.
car.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's definitely Mad Max, and it's like rusted out like crazy. And he's saying like, go around me, and he eventually does go around him. And then they keep driving. Like, I think they take a break or something like that to like kind of relax for a moment. And then I think that's when they keep driving and they pass by.
They see the truck like parked.
Parked by the barn? Or
Yeah, like
wherever.
a barn or like
Yeah.
some sort of building. And they see like a guy, and he's like, he's like stuffing something into like a pipe or something.
Yeah, he's like dumping
To a
like
drainage
and
pipe,
they-
something with like white sheets into like a drainage pipe.
Yeah,
And he's got his outfit on. He's got his Jeepers Creepers hat and the cloak
Yep.
Yeah.
and the...
He's got like long
the
hair.
iconic thing.
He kind of looks like the Undertaker a little bit.
If he was an insect.
see that,
If
yeah.
the Undertaker was an insect.
Well, you don't know he's an insect yet. I mean, he just looks like a guy in a long trench coat and a hat.
Right.
So, okay, so they see that he's stuffing things into this
Sewer pipe. of
into the
some
sewer
kind.
pipe, and
Did they pull over to investigate? Like they...
not when he's doing it.
No, they did, but
pass,
they just see
they
it
drive by
happening? Yeah.
slow.
they creep by.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They
They
creep-
jeepers- they
Jeepers
jeepers
Creepers by.
creepers right
We
there.
all got it. We all got there. We
We
all
all
got
have the
there.
same joke. Yeah, and so as they're creeping by, the guy sees
Jeeperly
them.
creeping by.
As they
Wait,
creep by in their Jeep. They're not in a Jeep.
Oh, they were in a Jeep though.
So the guy sees them and then immediately gets into his vehicle to tailgate them again.
Yeah, he
and
starts
they,
chasing them.
Tries to
They
run him off the
floor it.
road. This is the scary part where
Yes.
Yeah.
it's the reminiscence of Steven Spielberg's Duel, the TV movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of inspiration from that scene.
So he floors it up on them and quickly catches up with them. They can't go fast.
Oh yeah,
enough.
this car can go like 100 miles an hour, like so fast. even
Yeah,
though
I
it's
think he even mentions like
so
is that
big.
thing like souped up or something like that.
Mm.
And so I think at this point they're run off the road into like a cornfield.
Yeah, we don't have cell phones at this point. It's 2001.
Oh, it's 2001.
If they do have cell phones, they don't have reception.
Oh, you just brought me to another aspect of the movie.
Whoa!
Let's stick with this.
No,
thought,
no.
though.
But
Unless
you
it's part of
reminded
it.
me of something coming up.
Right. Well, they go back to the hole at some point.
Yes, I think they watch the guy go away, and at first I don't know who. I think maybe the sister. No, maybe Justin Long's character is the one that wants to go back and check it out.
Yeah, one of them is definitely like, we gotta go look.
And one of
Now,
them
when
doesn't
he was
want
stuffing the
to.
sheets in there, was it just suspicious looking, or did they see like blood or something?
I think they were bloodstained.
Okay, but yeah, they go back to investigate,
Yes.
and he goes like into the pipe or something.
Yes. Like
Or don't they both?
I don't know
no, I
if they
think
both
I think
do.
Justin just goes in there. Like he's I don't know. I think it is him though. And he like climbs down this pipe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then he finds the Jeepers Creepers room.
Yeah,
Right.
of all these like dead bodies.
Yeah, just a bunch of dead bodies.
Aren't they also kind of like trophies in a way? Like they're he's like there's bones and like bits of people like ornately around. Isn't that like how the Jeepers Creepers like
Yeah, it's
deals?
actually-
He, like,
I don't
he
remember,
basically
but
sucks
that
your
could
flesh
be.
off and just like leaves your bones.
Ooh.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
And
an
I think
owl?
I think they're all like stacked in a special
Just
way.
pellets.
Because I'm more familiar with Jeepers Creepers 2, and in that movie he has a like essentially a shuriken, a ninja star made of flesh and bone that he uses.
Damn.
So
That's pretty scary. So I think what happens is Justin Long's like down in this. I think he's like hoisted down with a rope or something like that.
Okay.
that
into
they
the creeper
find.
hole. Or do we have another movie with a fire hydrant hose? used as
He gets Little
Oh,
Rascal down the
God.
pipe.
like this happened like 2 times already.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the last movie that we saw that had that fire hose bit?
It was after Little Rascals. I forget
What
what
was
it
the last movie we just watched?
Oh,
The Ring?
The Ring.
Yes,
Which
it was
is-
The
it's a
Ring.
lower- yeah.
They get fired. And we watched
Why?
Twister. They for sure do that in Twister.
Oh, they definitely
too.
did Twister.
Maybe it's like a little
Fire
like,
hose
movie
thing.
trope.
Yeah. We got to put it in our movie.
So I believe what happens is the Jeepers Creepers guy comes back as Justin Long's down in this pipe.
Or yeah, he's like on his way, and the sister's like screaming for him to get out of the pipe.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think they were looking for evidence because they wanted to call the cops, but they weren't like sure what to tell them. So
Yes.
they're like, we got to go back and look in that
Oh,
hole.
yeah, that sounds plausible.
We have to confirm that what's
right
going on.
before we call anyone.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
there's like a reason why they're doing this. And I think he gets stuck down in the well, like he doesn't, or whatever it is, he doesn't get out of it in enough time.
Yeah.
And
The creeper goes down and he tries to hide or something in the bodies.
Yeah.
He hides inside the.
I don't know if the creeper
remember
goes
that.
down.
I'd like to think he does. Just
I
because
don't remember what
it
happens
would be a
after
tense
they go
scene.
look.
Yeah, it would be extremely scary. But like, what do you think happens to the sister? Because she's also there. She's like probably by the vehicle that they have.
Well, she realizes there's not enough time, and I think she would run for cover, like just to
I assume she
hide.
hides. Yeah, like she hides. They both kind of hide, and then he slips out, I guess, or something, and they drive away.
Yeah, or they just wait and the creeper leaves to do,
Creeper
other
yeah, I
creeper
think they
business.
go
wait
creep.
and like he eventually does get out. I don't know if he finds any evidence or anything, but I think
I mean, they
Oh,
find
they find like
they find the bodies,
bodies
and,
of-
and they find like
right. Sorry, evidence to like take with them.
oh no, I don't think they take anything with
No.
them, but they leave to call the police, and they go to like a diner or
they
something.
they do go to a diner where I think they use like a payphone there.
yeah,
Or they go to the police station
maybe.
after the diner.
I know
That could be.
I know the end of the movie takes place in front of the police station, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think you're right. I think they go there towards the end, and then there's like a
Because the whole
kill all the police slaughter fest.
well, yeah, the policewoman gets yanked up into the sky.
Yeah, because like the Jeepers Creeper. Okay, they go to the diner,
Call the cops.
call the cops, and at this point,
I think the cops come to the diner,
okay.
and they're like, "All right, well, come with us back to the station," and they all drive away. And I think they get attacked again on the way back to the police station.
by the Jeepers Creepers.
by the creeper.
And just like the police officers get killed or
Yeah,
something
the police.
like that.
Yeah, and all the police get killed, and they escape again. The two of them, and I think maybe that's when they go to the police station.
Yeah, because I think they get that police car, or they're driving around in it at some point.
Oh, I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember that.
To, like,
but that's
to get to the end of
could
it.
be possible. I don't
Yeah.
remember enough detail.
So the ending of the movie takes place at the police station there?
I believe so.
I mean, there's definitely a scene later at the police station because they're like, "Oh, finally, we're like safe at the police station," and then like,
Yeah, and
everybody
it's like
dies.
there's like nobody around. It's a small police station, just
Yeah.
like on a dirt road off
Sure.
the side of the.
yeah,
It's not in a
It's like in a
crowded
small
area.
town, yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Are they like hidden in the police station or something? Or they hide in the police station
No.
when the Jeepers Creepers?
It all it happens outside. They try to fight it essentially. And they
Okay.
even
But-
run it over with the car.
Oh.
There is a part though where like I want to say like the policewoman and the sister are like in one of the cells or something, and the Jeepers Creepers monster like walks up to them and either leaves them alone or just kills the policewoman, but leaves the sister alone and takes off. And like I feel like there's a
Huh.
scene where the creature specifically does not kill the sister, even though he could.
When do we full on see it? When do we full on see the creature in all of its glory? Because we're just seeing like bits and pieces of it at this point. We're just seeing
In
like
his outfit, yeah.
its head,
Yeah.
its like arm.
I think there's got to be like a final form thing that you don't get to see it really until the ending when he takes off that coat. Like I think when
Okay.
When once they hit him with that car, and he like reveals.
right, I was gonna
reveals
say
himself.
when he's being attacked with
yeah.
the car, that's
Yeah,
probably
maybe like the headlights are at him, and he's like screaming like at the car or something like that.
because
I like that as
he
gets
can
hit.
fly, right?
Oh yeah, he's got wings for sure.
Yes. So like I think
And
that's
that's
the
the
point
big moment where it's like, oh, it has wings. It's like, how are we gonna fight that?
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that might even be happening as they're like running to the police station or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I could have sworn like that's when the movie just ends. Is when the lady gets yanked up into the sky.
Okay. I do know that there is a short last little scene. You go back to the Jeepers Creepers guy's place.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking
So like
about.
he never loses this whole movie. Like
Oh, he can't be beaten.
yeah.
He is
So
so
you go
strong.
back to his like little like shed or whatever, and I'm pretty sure you get to see like Justin Long. Like I think he took Justin Long's body and he's like ready to like take it apart or something like that. And there's like a hole in Justin Long's
That
stomach,
sounds right. Yeah.
and you can see straight through it to the Jeepers Creepers guy as he's like observing it up close. Something along those lines.
In the sequel, Justin Long has his eyes ripped out of his face.
Yeah,
so I'm
but
guessing that happened.
The Jeepers.
Oh, and
the
the
Jeepers
sequel?
Creepers steals his eyes.
That's the whole peepers. Let me get those peepers. And he rips them out.
So wait, does that happen in the sequel or does that happen in the?
I think he dies in the first movie, and there's like a flashback sequence in the second film.
Okay.
Just
Okay, so that
along
might be
with
part
his
of this first
eyes
movie
gone.
then. Yeah.
So yes, I guess
he
it could be a
must
part of
steal
the
his
first
eyes.
one.
I feel like I wonder if the barn they go to when they first see him dumping that body. I feel like then they get the police escort and they're going to the barn. They get there and it's like on fire.
Huh.
Yeah.
They like and they're like, oh no,
isn't
now
all the
it's-
evidence
now there's
gone?
no evidence. Yeah, and they're like, so now they're like, oh crap, there's nothing left.
Would that even be like the drainage pipe would be on fire?
I don't know.
too?
What, no, I don't think the pipe is actually on fire, but I think they get there and the police are like, well, burned down.
Do they go down the pipe and see
nothing
that there's
we can do.
nothing?
I doubt.
Did the
maybe
Jeepers Creepers, like, clean out
cleans
its-
out house. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
gotta move.
Oh, I think that does
That could
happen.
be.
I think they do go back
Okay.
That's very
To
movie
check
thing
it
to
out.
happen.
yeah, it is very moving.
and everything's like spotless.
totally fine.
He scrubbed his evidence,
Ooh.
as it were.
Well, I wanted to get into a discussion of what this thing is exactly.
Okay.
It
I know quite a
I was
bit
gonna
about
say,
the
I mean,
Jeepers
Brand
Creepers.
clearly
You do.
knows the sequel
Yeah.
stuff, so he's got even more lore than me.
Well, lay it on us.
So-
I'm curious.
So every 300 years for 30 days, it gets to feed. That's like its like gimmick. So it just like lays dormant for 300 years.
it's like a locust or something.
Mhm.
Or cicada.
Yep.
Cicada. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
Yep, it's a mansect of some kind.
Man sect.
Yeah, it's kind of like a moth in a way.
A moth
Yeah.
man.
And he looks almost like a scarecrow, like he's dressed in that way. Of some
Yeah, because I
kind.
remember the cover art looking like it was a scarecrow, and then I found when I finally watched it, I was like, "This isn't a scarecrow at all."
So I don't know how much they get into it in the first one, but he actively will like eat the body parts of the things that he's like injured with.
Yeah, he like replaces his parts
Yeah.
with people parts.
So like if his head gets
Oh.
like ripped off, it'll just eat your head, and then it'll grow the head back.
But
Or
how
if
does
it's
it-
like missing an arm,
Okay.
it'll rip your arm off and then eat your arm.
Got it. So it's like a regenerating thing.
Yeah, so it's just like eating these 30 days, just eating people. That's its whole
its
whole deal.
Huh.
Now,
It kind of humanizes the thing in a way. It's just,
Well,
it's
it's
just
trying to
sleeping,
survive.
and then
Just-
it's
yeah,
waking
if it
up
makes
and
sense.
eating.
Yeah, it's crazy intelligent. It,
Knows how to drive a car.
It has flight, which is a great for
It's useful.
great power.
Why is it driving a car then? Is that transit?
I never know why they
because
drive
that
the
car's
car.
sweet, bro. If you own that car, you would totally drive it.
It's a sweet
I
ride.
think it's a hot ride.
I have a theory that they maybe made like 2 movies, and they were like, we gotta make Duel, but then we also want to make this other movie.
Yeah, I can
So let's,
see that.
like,
Although
make that
he is
happen.
kind of like transporting bodies or things in the back
Yeah,
of
maybe
that
he can't
vehicle
fly
originally.
with like a bunch of bodies. So he's like,
Yeah.
well, a truck's got a big bed. I can put bodies in the back of a truck.
Yeah,
So
it's got
gets
a
souped-up
tailgate.
truck.
It's got you can have a cookout.
And you can run people off the road with it. It's useful.
I think he's one of like the last like big iconic horror creatures created too, like the Freddy.
Yeah, like
the
for like a big
Jason,
kind of franchise
yeah,
monster.
for a franchise monster where it's like trying to start its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome if they did do like a new versus old, like scary movie where you get like Freddy, Jason, Jeepers Creepers guy
I don't know.
up against
I don't
like
think you can do it.
Frankenstein and like the werewolf and like
See, it just
vampire.
sounds funny.
It does sound funny.
It's so hard to do like a serious version of that film.
It would be
Oh,
Because
funny.
they tried to make Freddy vs. Jason, and that was just a
No, what they
schlocky
need
mess.
to do is they need to do a Munster style show, but with all the new characters. So it's like Freddy and Jason and Jeepers Creepers
Yeah.
trying to live together in
It's like
house.
a 50s sitcom.
Well, if they work together, they could figure it out. Jason could kill, bring home the body. The creeper could eat it, and Freddy could, terrorize the person. I mean, they each have powers that could
Yeah.
benefit one another.
It's not exactly the same with like Swamp Thing, like a werewolf and
Right. Anything else? I feel like we got the big parts of this movie. And you said it's a short film.
Yeah, so the Justin Long dies, the sister lives. I'm
She
pretty
lives
sure.
and gets away.
Almost every police officer is dead at some point.
Yeah. Like, that police department is gone at the end of this movie. And yeah, I feel like that you kind of see during the movie, like, the idea that he passes over the sister and goes for Justin specifically because he wants to steal his eyeballs.
Oh.
And
okay.
so that's why, like, he looked at his sister. I wonder if she has glasses. Do you remember?
I thought maybe like
He's
left.
like, these eyes are garbage.
That could be.
I don't remember having glasses,
I don't
but
know.
it's possible.
I thought maybe he like left a scent inside his creeper lair, and like because he sniffs a lot in the film. I
Ooh.
think he can smell you out. He smells your fear. He chooses you. is the
Oh,
thing.
I do remember he can smell your fear, and so the idea, so maybe it's like that the sister's not afraid or is as afraid as the brother.
Yeah, or just like the scent isn't.
So
there
he's like,
that
"Ooh, that
he
guy smells
wants.
pretty good.
I want to eat
I
that.
need that
Yeah.
eyeballs."
I want to eat that boy. I gotta eat that Justin Long.
I mean, he's definitely like scared and anxious throughout the entire movie.
Well, he's
I'm pretty
Justin Long.
sure.
He's like that in every movie.
yes.
Isn't this like first film too, or one?
It
of
would have, yeah, it would have been
Pretty early.
one of his earliest
I mean,
films,
This movie came out like 2000, 2001.
fresh
somewhere
off
there.
his
2001.
Mac vs. PC success, and
Oh yeah.
So I think I didn't really love this movie as much at the time because there were just different horror movies that I wanted. I wanted more of like an action horror movie, and this only has like
Okay.
bits of it. Like I wanted like Final Destination because like that had just come out, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that horror movie again.
I did watch. I loved watching the Final Destination. I hated and still kind of hate horror movies. Not because I don't think they're good, but because I hate being scared. So it was like for me to watch something like with a Ring, which we've done, or this movie when I was that young, I was like a big deal. And so
Yeah.
I feel like I ended up like blocking a lot of this out because I don't remember much from how I felt watching the film. I just remember like
I remember
having
being just a little
seen
bit
it.
bored because it just wasn't.
Now is number 2 the one with like the school bus?
Yeah, that one's way more actiony and
I
awesome.
think I saw that one too, but I do not remember much about it.
That's like
except-
one of my favorite horror movies ever.
Yeah.
I do remember when I saw the first one. I was pretty scared of it. I previously wasn't very good with horror movies, but I've warmed up to them over time. But I just remember like really liking that opening sequence with like him chasing them out in the car after seeing
Yeah.
like the bodies being dumped. not that it's like scary. It was just like it's a very thrilling scene to watch.
Yeah.
So I like that. But like once they got to the part where they were going down into the well, I was not all about that. I was
Well,
very
that's something
turned
you
off.
can't
It was
relate
too
to,
scary.
but you can totally relate to being like tailgated and like a lonely road.
Well, yeah, watching that
truck
Unsolved
or
Mysteries
whatever.
is creepy because, yeah, I mean, it's like like a real story of people like, we saw this guy probably dumping a body, and then, like, he
Yeah.
chased us, and it was terrible. I was like, oh my god, I'd have, like, peed my pants in the car.
Yeah, country
Yeah.
roads are scary, and you get those cornfields everywhere.
Yeah,
and you
and
can't
no
see
one's
anything,
around.
and
Yeah,
it's
like, what are you
dark
gonna
out.
do?
So we should say like the opening of this movie is based off of a Unsolved Mysteries episode. I mean, it's only up to the point where it's only up to the point where
I'm
like
giving
the
We're gonna get
two
flagged
people
for,
come back
for uncopyrighted music.
But it's so the Unsolved Mysteries story is basically a couple being tailgated. They see a guy dumping something,
And they saw some blood.
yeah, into this well, and then they also get chased by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
But
also
then-
an insect monster.
And
That's
it's
confirmed.
unsolved. That's the worst part.
And that did
Oh.
happen in Michigan, apparently. So that's why I'm saying this movie might take place in Michigan.
All right.
But a huge part of me wants to think it's just
Look,
Iowa.
I bet it happens. I bet this happens in California, and you're all wrong.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Andy, cue that phrase, though.
I'm nervous about watching this movie. I'm nervous.
Whoa, it's different.
It's a scary movie.
All right. All right, so we're gonna watch Jeepers Creepers, and we're gonna get jeepered and creepered and spooked out. And Andy's gonna poop
Oh, I'm gonna
himself.
creeps all over.
Ooh.
Join us in part 2.
Still no ads on this episode, but please go to whatremembered.com. There's a YouTube video on there where we and future guest Brandon Wilson sit down and recommend 8 different movies for you to watch during Halloween. And since you're already there, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. Thanks.
What the hell was he doing?
Dump something down that pipe.
Wrapped in a sheet.
Wrapped and roped in a sheet.
Wrapped and roped in a sheet with red stains on it. Just get us out of here.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Creeper Peeper podcast. I am. We watched Jeepers Creepers.
I was creeped all the way to my Jeeps.
You have 2 Jeeps,
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I got peeps in my creeps, so I know how you feel.
I had to go buy a Jeep just to get creeped.
This movie makes you lots of things.
This movie's good.
I mean,
Keep going.
We mentioned that it's not a long movie, and they make use of every minute in this film.
Yeah, you pretty much like first like minute into the movie is when they start getting like chased by the beating
creeper
you
car.
Yeah.
car. It's like right from the beginning is when
And that's like they're just like
the scares start.
giving a lot of exposition about like their relationship. I guess they're just like a brother and sister couple like tease each other
On their
give each other a hard
driving
time.
home for spring
The
break.
spring break thing was correct. The Jeeper Creeper, I guess, had killed like some people they knew, and they
Yes.
they mentioned that. So
I think it
that
was
pays
more like
off
it was like a
little bit later.
school urban legend or something. About
Yeah,
like-
it sounded
Yeah.
kind of like that. I couldn't tell what
So
it
it's
happened.
it's every 23 springs for 23 days it gets to feed. And 23 years ago would have been 1978.
yeah.
when the
So that's
movie
when
took place
that
in 2001,
that's
so
when
that's
those
when that
people disappeared.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is the sequel going to take place 23 years after this?
So
one?
the sequel takes place at the end of the 23-day cycle. It takes place on the 23rd day.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember that being like a trivia question. It's like, he was upset, like, oh, when am I going to see this movie in the future? It's like, no, just said during the last day. And he's like, oh, yeah, I could just do that. So there's like a time limit in the next movie where it's like, if they just wait it out, the 23rd day is going to be over.
I was thinking about that a little bit, like, but there was no way to escape this thing. It was like tailing them the entire time, whether
Yeah.
from a car or in the air.
Yeah.
It was always pretty much like on top of them.
I mean, yeah, they really. I feel like the creature was toying with them most of the time. It definitely seemed like it could have killed them numerous times.
Well,
it was just like
It
hanging
wanted
around.
to be sure. It like had to sniff out the right thing from
I
the
guess.
people.
I mean-
it didn't just discriminately kill.
Not them. It definitely indiscriminately killed everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it like deliberately chose someone at the end, though. It was like
Yeah, he was like
Making
sniffing them
sure-
and making sure it was the right
making sure they were
one.
he was making the right decision.
Yeah, you got to make sure your last meal's a good one before you go back to
Yeah,
sleep.
that's true. Yeah, and he needed those eyeballs.
He did, and he took just Justin Long's eyeballs, but you didn't take his sister's. However, you did get a quick scene where she was like holding eyeglasses
in the car in the very beginning of
Yeah.
the film. She's like holding eyeglasses,
but it's never really
but
referenced.
but she's never wearing them. She just has them in her hand for like one scene.
so it could like tell that her eyes were not as good as his.
Maybe, but
Something
she
like
also
that?
talks about that. Yeah, it's like
It
all
just
by the
wanted
scent.
that. It just wanted
But
that Justin Long.
But now, was there a laundry
I want there to
mixed
be more about
together,
it,
or was it
though.
just his laundry? Like it seemed like it smelled his laundry, so it wanted
yeah.
him.
Yeah, it was his
It didn't
laundry.
smell her laundry.
Because there's a quick like little line where she mentions about how he has stinky socks on,
yeah,
and then he goes down in the hole, and then it starts smelling laundry, looking for that smell again. I think.
maybe. And I mean, she'd commented before how stinky his clothes were in the trash bag and threw like the car air freshener in there.
Why is he
Um,
bringing his clothes like?
He's taking them home
Take
to
him
wash
to
them.
wash him. I mean,
Were you
Like
paying
doing,
attention?
no, wait, but they're doing like a cross country like type trip.
He
He's bringing all of his dirty
She asked
laundry.
that. She's like, "You're bringing your dirty laundry all the way home to mom and dad's to do it." He's like, "Have you ever done laundry at college, sister?"
Oh, I totally missed this
so
part.
did they go to the same college, and they're going back together?
No, I mean, it
missed
seems
that
like it
part.
certainly seemed plausible.
Yeah,
mean,
I don't-
They talked about like he was like, "We should have taken my car home," so they definitely left one of their cars somewhere. So I mean, they could go to the same college.
Are they twins? Are they the same
No, I
age?
think she's the older sister.
I mean, she definitely looks older than he does. I think so.
Yeah.
I would definitely think she's the older one, which kind of confused me about when he's like asking her like, "Have you ever done laundry at college?" Like,
Yeah, they're kind of bantering the entire time back
Yeah.
and forth. But so you get some storyline about her like being in love with a poli sci major or something
Yeah.
like that.
they kind of like give you some background snippets of her, and
That never comes
it
back.
never matters.
I
It's
have a
just weird.
theory that they wanted her to be single in the film, so dudes would be like, "Oh, that's a single lady. I could get with her if I wanted to."
So that's
There's
what
no
she's
guy in
like.
the
I
picture."
dumped that poli sci major.
Mhm.
Even though it's a movie.
I want to see that story.
What happened
Their
to that poor
relationship
guy?
Right before this Creepers.
Oh, yeah.
So the Jeepers Creepers has they even had a name for it, which I forget. Like it's Hellhole. What do they call it?
The House of Pain.
House of Pain.
House of Pain.
like the band.
Yeah.
So it has a House of Pain, and it has naked. This movie has an R rating for nudity.
Brief
in
nudity.
addition to the violence,
But it's all dead nudity.
it's all
is.
plastic body nudity.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but you verbally groaned when you saw all those dead bodies hanging in the ceilings and the walls. And
Well, like, okay,
all
so
over the place.
It's kind of disorienting because like it pans up at first, but it looks like the bodies are so far away that it almost looks like it might just be like
It
in
does
the
look like
walls,
painting.
Like it's like a painting,
Yeah.
like a caveman
A matte
painting.
painting.
Yeah, they don't
Okay.
look like actual bodies stuck to an actual wall because it's like the perspective is weird.
Yeah, but then it pans up and you still can't really tell if it's like miniature people or not. Like
Yeah.
it kind of feels that way.
Like, I
but
feel
then
like that basement wasn't that big, but the scale of those bodies did seem kind of small. Like,
Yeah.
He
I don't know.
claims that there are 500 to 600 bodies in that.
That is a
House
gross
of Pain.
overestimation. There was maybe 100, and that's generous. So his
I mean, he was definitely panicked, but
his
yeah,
dead
so it was
body
nowhere-
estimation skills were way off.
But he finds the missing couple that they were talking about from 1978.
Yeah.
They're in the House of Pain.
and they even like I did appreciate that like they referenced the fact that that was from like 20-some years ago. He's like, they would have been like just bones by now, and he's like, they were preserved somehow.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
Jeepers
know.
Creepers
They're-
preserving bodies in
Yeah.
some way.
Yeah, they're
Um,
definitely like glossy. So like he puts something on there to keep.
Puts a
it-
nice shellac
Yeah.
on their skin, and
you know,
probably
yeah.
drains the blood in the bones.
Polyurethane, just slap it on there, nice coat.
Did he steal that guy's ring? Because there's like later on, he has a ring on his finger.
He had a
Creeper
ring on from
did?
the beginning.
No,
Oh,
Justin Long.
Yeah,
Oh,
he had
did?
he had it at
Oh.
the beginning of the film. I looked at it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't even notice that.
I only noticed it after they showed the ring on that guy's hand.
Yeah.
Then I paid attention to it, and so I wasn't sure if he took the ring for some reason.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
Justin Long somehow escapes from that. Maybe he finds like an exit out
He
from the
found
church or
stairs up.
something.
Yeah, he found stairs up into the church.
Yeah, he gets spooked by some rats, and that's how he originally falls into the hole.
With a really weird
That's-
shot of him walking backwards into a wall, but it's supposed to be him falling.
Falling onto the floor.
Yeah.
Creative filmmaking on a low budget.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people with missing body parts who are still alive for a short period of
Yeah.
time.
The creeper definitely stole that one cop's heart, and I don't mean that figuratively.
He was alive for literally
he,
like
yeah,
10
he was
seconds.
like standing there blinking, like, what
He's
happened?
like, I might be dead.
And I was like, your heart's gone, man. You'd be gone by now.
There's the diner scene where like no one believes what's going
That
on.
diner was packed, yeah.
yeah, and there were no cars in the
Yeah.
parking lot at all.
And this movie plays a lot of nice, like, does lots of things in the background of the shot. And this is the one where they're in their own car. They're not in the police car. The police car is just tailing them to the barn.
Yeah.
And the Jeeper Creeper is on the roof of the police car, like tearing them up.
And the two of them, like, the two of them are just like having a back and forth, like, sort of like sibling argument, while the creeper's on the roof of the cop car in the background.
They also do.
Cool.
They also do a oneer where they pan from their car, like side profile, to the police car.
Oh,
that was a
cool
cool shot.
That was a
Back to them.
beautiful shot.
That was very cool.
And the creeper like rips the lady out of the car and then chops the guy's head off.
With
'Cause
an
the creeper
awesome
has
axe.
the best axe in the world.
He's got this kick-ass battle axe, and it only comes up the one time.
It's made out of body parts.
That's
too.
exactly why he has that coat. Because like you see one point when he gets hit by the car, like knives and stuff fall out of his
Yeah,
coat.
that's true.
That plays more into the second one, like he uses those. to his
Oh,
actual
okay, yeah,
weapons.
because he definitely didn't almost at all in this one. It was just him grabbing people.
Yeah, he makes his own tools. And
He used that axe the one time, and that was totally awesome.
Yeah, it's in like a nice shadow, and he pulls it up and chops that guy's head clean off.
Yeah.
And then we get to Mrs. Peacock, who was in the film. There's a whole other scene we forgot about where there's a cat lady.
Yeah.
Played by Mrs. Peacock from Clue, the old woman.
Yes.
Yeah, so they basically go to her house to use her phone, which she doesn't have, and she has a scarecrow in her yard. They see that, but then like talk to this lady. She's kind of creepy, has a ton of cats, and then they look back at the scarecrow, and it's the Jeepers Creepers guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Who did you bring to my house?" And she's ready to tear this guy apart.
Yeah, she has a double-barrel shotgun, goes to town.
She like shows up behind them immediately with that shotgun when they're looking at the scarecrow. 'Cause she's like, "That's not my scarecrow."
The best part is that like she has kind of similar hair to him, so it's like there were
Yeah,
times where you're like, "Is that the monster or is that an old lady?"
Yeah, the old lady's introduced to us in just like shadowy profile. We're not quite sure what her deal is. If she's good or bad or what.
We didn't mention at all the psychic lady.
Yeah,
Nope,
the
forgot about that.
That was kind of like a forced part of the storyline. I felt to explain some loose ends.
Yeah, we just need a character to have some sort of explanation for the audience. To
give a little bit of
what the
exposition
creature's
on
doing.
like what the creature is. Like that's her purpose, is
and
just
what
to
it's
explain.
doing. Like it's
22 years
selling you out to eat you.
Yeah.
And it's never gonna give up. And
Yeah, she comes in at the diner scene. She explains on the phone what's going on, but like they're not
Cryptically.
understanding what she's talking about.
Yeah, well, you see, at first she's just talking about like you and a bunch of cats, and the cats come later.
That was a good impression. Of her.
you got a bunch of cats now.
You look at all them cats. That's not too many cats.
You hear that Jeeper Creeper song, you gotta run.
Yeah, that's true. She tells them specifically when they hear the Jeepers
She's
Creepers
not
song.
good at explaining what she's trying to say.
She's really good at vaguely hinting at things that may happen.
And having to repeat it like 3 or 4 times to fully
Yeah, she definitely
explain
needs
it.
to like work on her exposition skills because she gives them like half sentences, and that's not. I was like, if you make those full sentences, I think they would have believed her much faster.
Yeah, this is no help, lady. You talking like this? Just spit it out.
Yeah, she could have just been
Get
like,
those facts out.
"Hey, I'm a psychic. I know what's going on. Here's the storyline of this guy." Right.
So they run the creeper over like soon afterwards. That's where that scene happens where they keep hitting it with the car and they demolish the creeper. They,
Oh yeah, they run it over like 4 times.
like they turn his leg into dust.
Yeah, but you can't kill it. You can't kill the creeper.
Ugh.
There's nothing
Apparently.
doing.
Just don't live in that part. Don't live in that area
As
where
the-
he's hanging out.
As the psychic says, it's eaten too many hearts for it to ever stop.
That's a good line.
Damn.
That's a good line. Yeah, we need to find out where this takes place because we need to not be around there.
Hotwalla? Is it like a made up? And then there's
Some
another
sort of
county.
made-up county. It's definitely just rural wherever, rural any town, USA.
So they finally get to the police station, and it's just bumbling cops, not good at their job. Just like
They're not
hanging
very
out.
good at shooting things, but I give
Right.
them credit for bravery.
I give them credit for hiring that many cops.
They had so many.
There's a lot of.
They had,
there's
like,
a
3
cop
cops.
budget like crazy.
Yeah,
in
they
town.
had 3 cops when they showed up to the place, and then
Yep.
as soon as they were
When
like,
they're
"There's
like-
a creeper here," they're like, Get everybody.
And like people, they start showing up out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's like 50 cops in that police
And
station.
their prison is like filled with what looked like to be like hardened criminals.
They did look like
Yeah.
stereotypical,
like really bad. Like these aren't
leather
just,
jacket and beanies and like,
these aren't just like
yeah.
misdemeanor like criminals. These guys have murdered people.
You mentioned that one of them, I guess, comes back in Jeepers 2.
Oh yeah, so there's a guy. I
He's
don't remember
he's
his
brought
name.
in when they
Roach?
get Roach. When they get
Roach.
to the station, they bring in a guy for boosting a car that is described sounds very much like their car, a 72 Chevy Nova.
Yes, and apparently he's in Jeepers Creepers 2 as an assistant coach.
We don't know if it's the same character or just the same actor.
Yeah.
But I like to think that he just turned his life around that day. Like, seeing the Creeper devour some other people made him really reassess his life.
Before we round out the ending, let's talk about the car for a little bit. Because the movie goes meta a few times, talking about, like, this is the part in the scary movie that this
They do.
happens, like, don't do this. But then they do the car failing trick,
Yeah,
like,
the car- yeah,
several
the-
times throughout the film.
Yeah,
They
that was
justify the phone dying because the battery's
they
low.
reference horror films a couple of times. Yeah, then they have like the stereotypical car never starts when they need it to, and then they go even more meta by using that trope to trick the creeper into getting closer to their car.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay,
I didn't really understand how that worked. Like, it was missing their car each time, but it just started walking towards them, and then she tried to peel out, which she's bad at each time. I feel like there was enough time for that thing to jump.
yeah,
on
there
their
was-
car
they were
again.
It gets up a little bit, but not enough.
Yeah, it was not. I feel like it was not
That thing
that
did
much
not even get up to
closer to her
speed.
car that time. But all of a sudden, he was like, "Oh crap, I gotta jump!" And
Yeah.
First it does a sweet backflip, and then it runs on top and over the car, and then it finally,
Twice.
Yeah.
finally gets
Does
hit
it
by
twice.
it. Oh yeah,
And-
when the car
and-
goes in.
It might have
Reverse.
just been like out of breath or something.
maybe he's just tired. He's like, I'm turning to dust. My skin's old.
Yeah, his lungs are starting to collapse.
Really cool practical stunts.
Yeah.
It's really things happening.
Yeah.
So
I
they
mean,
basically run the thing over. This is when you get to see that it has wings.
Yeah, we
Yep.
get the full shot of it when it kills Mrs. Peacock.
Yeah.
and it's in the house. But then we see more. We get to see a little bit more of it every time.
Yeah.
So yeah, once they run it over in the road, it like busts one wing out and like tries to fly away, but can't. They
Yeah.
run it over one last time and take off to the police station.
And it finds them. The car limps like to the police station, and he's like pulling his leg, like barely able to stand,
yes.
getting out of the
Him
car.
hobbling into the to the police station was hilarious.
That was
so
like
good.
my favorite scine ever. I was
really
like, I
liked
started
it.
picturing like what if we were seeing like this monster just doing normal everyday things? Like it's just going to the police station just to file a report or
A
something.
couple of kids ran me over. God dang!
Exactly.
well, there's a scene that it's like going through its routine where it's putting the bodies in the back of its truck. It's just like, oh, I gotta do
Yeah,
this.
that's
today.
true. At the
Oh,
shots
man.
where he's throwing bodies, but he's like,
I started-
"What a day, huh?"
And he closes the door, and like the camera stays still for like 10 seconds and opens again. He puts a head inside the truck. It's like,
I forgot
no,
that.
I forgot to put this in there.
I kind of really like the Jeepers Creepers monster.
I love him. He's
Yeah.
so-
Like I don't think he's
got a
like-
lot of charisma. He's like walking back and forth on the road, and he just has a nice like style to him.
He definitely did look like the Undertaker a couple times.
Yeah.
Until you mentioned the first
And they
part.
kind of just like, I mean, his purpose is just to eat, just like any other creature is.
He's like,
I mean,
"Look,
obviously, he's using us, like he's a predator, and
We're just the
his
food for him.
prey.
Yeah.
But and I don't remember in number 2. Do we follow the monster more, or do we follow like other characters? Like
It's
that
a
football
little
team?
bit of both. I say you see a lot more of the monster in the second one, but
Okay.
it's equal. With the-
I would
there's
love to
some
see
evidence
like
of
in the
monster.
third one maybe a different perspective. Like it's from the monster's point of view, and like I don't know, you're kind of following him a little bit more because he's kind of like he's an interesting creature. Like he has more depth to him than
I need to get to know him deep down.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I need to understand him. Maybe we can help.
We need to get inside the monster. Like the monster gets inside of us.
Who's the real monster here?
Maybe we could be like an evil scientist who like starts feeding him, and like, oh, we know it just needs food every once in a while. It's no big deal. I'm doing it for the good. If we let it alone, it would kill indiscriminately. But I get to feed him.
That's
Who
very
ran
true.
wild.
There were so many bodies in that play. Although I guess they're from all over like his waking up periods. But I was like, that's a lot of bodies. Did he really need that many people?
Yeah, like how many people does he need to feed on in 23 days?
I guess a person a day would probably
you know,
do
yeah,
all right.
4,500?
3 meals a day. You know, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Okay.
I did think I was
Unless
like,
he's trying to bulk up, then it's like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Then it's like.
and if it's
about
leg day,
6.
come on.
Leg day for sure.
I
need that
appreciate it.
protein.
Like I was saying too, like it seems like that many people going missing from such a rural town would be a big news, considering it was probably like half the county's population. Although,
And they're aware of the missing people.
yeah, they
I mean,
get
there's
to
a
the police
bulletin
station,
board full of.
and they have a whole bulletin board full of missing persons papers from people that the monster killed.
Part of me was like wondering, like, okay, so he's kind of switching from one place to another place. So you only see that happen once. But I was kind of like, is he like hopping from town to town? Is he like
I don't know.
gathering
He
people
had
from
his,
town to town, or
I'm guessing he hunts outside the one county. 'Cause
yeah? But then the other thing I was sitting there going, like you were saying, there's literally like 100 bodies in that one
Right,
church.
in his
So I'm like,
house of pain.
he must have killed 100 people in that county or like a county
Right,
over.
around it. at
You'd
some
think
point.
they would have noticed something significant.
That's a lot of people to go missing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see that on like they'll do a crossover with Criminal Minds, and they'll have to go find the Jeepers Creepers serial killer.
Yeah. There's no like profile of this monster or anything, like a serial killer, like
I don't know.
detective. Or
You think those
something?
police would have it? They were on it. Like it was like a day after like all these events took place, and they were back to busting regular criminals at the end of this movie. The police department, which shot up
Yeah.
its own police station, like 2 of its officers were killed.
Yeah,
And they-
monsters exist in the world.
Yeah,
this
these-
is fact.
And these police were just like, well, back to regular busted car thieves policing.
Yeah, part of me was like wondering if it was just like a budget issue or something like that. But I was
They
like,
ran out of the
where are more police? Where's like the FBI? Where's the news at? Like we could have seen these in the last little like shot there.
I almost felt like it was just like using almost this, just reusing a standard establishing shot for a police station, because it's always like if you're in somewhere, a cop comes in escorting a criminal, you're like, oh, I'm in a police station. So
Yeah.
you just needed that same shot again at the end to reestablish that she was still at the police station.
Yeah, I just wish more people were like coming in and out and like people were talking about what was going on.
Yeah,
or
like,
something.
or yeah, if someone was like at least a little concerned. Like everyone seemed like they were totally back to just business as
They're
usual.
like, oh, we just arrested Kevin. He was domestic violence.
Yeah, but what about that Jeeper Creeper last night?
No, that
Why
was
is anyone
last
talking
night.
about this?
That was like
Dude, that was
days
like
ago.
an hour
God.
ago.
We
Can
are
we
way
move?
past that.
George with a Jeeper Creeper again. This guy, come on.
He clearly left. We're
Let-
fine.
yeah,
He's
let it
never
go,
coming
man.
back.
Just always freaking out about this Jeeper Creeper monster.
What I want is a cult who's like going out of the way to cover it up. So
Oh
something
yeah, yeah, like they
that.
protect the Jeepers
Or
Creepers.
like they worship him or something.
Right.
Like they want it.
Or
want
they
him.
find bodies for him, and
Yeah.
Oh, they
it makes
present
no
you get to see him
sacrifices.
just kind of lounging on a chair.
He's like, I should have done this years ago.
It puts an extra inch in like their cornfield or something. Just makes their crops grow a little bit better that year when you feed the creeper.
yeah,
yeah, he's so like they're feeding him to have him like
help their crops
help
out.
fertilize their crops and water their crops. Like he just flies over.
Thanks, Jeeps.
The seasons don't fear the creeper. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
That's gonna be it. One of the title for the fourth one.
I hope
the
so.
creeper.
Seasons don't fear the creeper.
Seasons don't fear the
Oh
creeper.
man.
That's good.
So we mentioned briefly how awesome his truck was in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
part, and we did not do it justice. That truck was totally awesome.
And what is it, like an ambulance that's like, or a police truck?
It
like
looks like, yeah, it seems
prisoner
like
truck
some sort of
modified?
old like delivery truck or ambulance.
I would agree. It's like a paddy wagon or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that.
It could be like an ambulance. Could be like just a paddy wagon.
But totally awesome, and I did appreciate that. Despite it being this ancient, rusted out hulk of a car, he's like, "You must have souped it up or something," because it is just flying.
Yeah.
Every time they see it.
I kind of wonder what it's like driving that thing, like it just being in the driver's seat. If it's like angrily just like honking the horn and
It
just
seems like he'd be
going a
really
little crazy.
huge, trying to sit in that in the cabin there. I don't know how well
mean-
that would work.
So like at the end, you see this gramophone of him like listening. So you see a gramophone. He's listening to music, and it's the Jeepers Creepers song.
Yep.
So he likes like 40s music, or
That's why they
Or is
call him the
this just
Jeepers
like a
Creepers, because he
baby?
really loves that song, I guess, and so he's always listening to it.
Huh. Well, how did he get into music?
I guess he
You
found
want
that
to know a lot
gramophone.
more about this creeper.
I do!
So, yeah, you need like his whole biography. You need to call the Jeepers Creepers, be like, I really want to do a story on you. Like,
Oh my
just
God.
just sit down for an interview.
Like I would
I'll bring
feel
you
like
some
this guy
bodies.
would be into like punk music or something like that. Like
Yeah, that does seem a
Minor
little more
Threat
or
or
gothic
something,
something.
yeah, like I can imagine him listening to that in his car, not Jeepers Creepers.
No, he was listening to that new version that they played in their car halfway through.
That was so bad.
That was a terrible
Were they
cover.
just trying to like save the rights, or could they only play it so many times?
I was like, they played the old. I feel like that old one's probably public domain. Like, they were
Yeah,
like,
they played the new one for like 5 seconds.
yeah.
It was like Cyndi Lauper or something.
And now on the radio, our new hit with Jeepers Creepers. Like, what is this doing on the radio?
83!
How is this radio station still making money playing this song? How is this in the rotation?
Was the monster hovering above the cars, and when he heard them turn on the radio, it was like, oh, I guess I got
jeez.
attacked now, and now I'll kill the cops because I heard the song.
The monster has a job to do. He's not happy about doing it. He goes to work and punches in just like everybody else.
I mean, that's the impression I got from him throwing the bodies in the back of that truck, was just like, oh, God, I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, he like threw the bodies down the pipe. He's like, I'll get to these later.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time right then to even do
Yeah.
the things he wants to do with those
Too
bodies.
busy. He took off from that church. That's why he drives so fast. He's too busy. He can't slow down.
What do you think this guy does for fun? Like on the weekends or something? I mean, there's got to be off
I'd be
days where
curious
he's
to
not
know what the
hunting.
Jeepers does on the
He
weekends.
just hibernates for 23 years, and he wakes up 23
No,
years
but I mean,
later
like
and
during
eats
the
again.
23 days, is he constantly just feeding, or
Look,
is he like
No,
hanging out some
No,
days?
he's making weapons. He's buying clothes. he's straightening his hat. He's making sure he's looking good.
He's got to run 23 years worth of errands in 23 days.
Yeah,
He's
good
got
luck
a
trying
lot
to do that.
do.
He didn't even go to the bank in the movie. How many times?
Check your privilege, Andy.
Filling up
Think
gas.
he can have some weekends? He's a busy man, okay? He works hard for his money.
Dang, I don't.
So
not
hard
even I
for
work
it,
that
honey.
hard. I don't even work that hard.
Oh, man. I did
Well,
enjoy
but-
this film.
Regardless, this movie is
Solid.
fantastic.
Is it weird that the only jumps, like, I don't know if it was the only jump scare in the
There
film
are a
because I
couple of
wasn't
jump
paying
scares.
attention, but the only one that got me to jump was the rats coming at Justin Long in the pipe.
There were two other ones. Justin Long, for no reason, freaks out his own sister,
Yeah.
and like soon after that, and then the phone rings, and that's what's supposed to scare us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the phone's ringing.
The rats jumping, like, leaping at his face, like, got me the jump scare. And then they, like, immediately followed up with, like, comical flailing around because of rats, which I enjoyed, but it was a little silly.
I love the slow burn scenes where it's like the Jeepers Creepers
Yes.
in the background on the car, the Jeepers Creepers in the cornfield just hanging out, being a creeper.
Forever, yeah. He, like, stood, he was like, he was like,
Hanging
no,
out.
if I stay here, they'll eventually believe I'm the Scarecrow. Because they'll, like, say straight to him, like, we know you're not the Scarecrow. And you just keep standing there. He's like, he's committed to that, to pretending to be that Scarecrow.
I also really liked the slow scare of the other vehicle popping up. Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
so
the
Justin Long's
false.
in this like hole and
The House of Pain.
House of Pain, and the Jeepers Creepers vehicle starts coming up, and the girl starts freaking out. She tries to get into the
Well,
car
not
to
even.
run
She's
away.
like standing there for like minutes before she even notices the car driving
Yeah.
up, and you can see it blurry in the
In the audience,
background.
we can see it coming.
And then
Yeah.
you just end up finding out it's another vehicle that looks
Just
like
a,
the
yeah,
Jeepers
just an older
Creepers.
rusted truck, and yeah,
Yeah.
that is a long scene. I really did
It's
appreciate.
a good like
slow
Yeah, it's a
burn.
great setup.
I appreciated
Good
the slowness
That's
of the
what it
first time they encountered the Jeepers Creepers truck because they had passed like the RV. And like in the background, while they're having this whole like establishing their background conversation, we see the RV pull off to the side, and in the way back, the truck
Right
pulls up
behind it.
and like comes way up the whole time. And it's like a lot of cool scenes where there's a lot going on in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah, just hold the shot and let the good things happen.
let the
you
good
know?
times roll.
They didn't rush anything in this very short film.
Yeah, and everything is nice build-ups, deliberate shots. It's not like just like random cuts or scares.
It gets a little wacky in the police station at the end.
Yes, it almost felt a little
Does.
hot fuzz in the police station. Like they all show up. Like
Yeah.
we hear the two of them run away in the police station with the psychic lady to like an empty section of the police station, and then they run upstairs. They don't see it. They just hear the cops shooting in the distance.
Yeah, and we think as the audience that the creepers killed all the cops.
Yes,
All the
yeah,
police
that's
think
what
so.
your impression is that the creepers killed everyone and is now coming for them. And he shows up and he's like sniffing the kids and looking around and scaring them. He grabs them. And like then all of a sudden all those cops bust in with like now they have like helmets and shit on and big guns. They were like, we took a detour to the armory real quick. We're fine.
yeah,
And yeah, they have like almost this hot fuzz moment of all of them like aiming at the creeper and just waiting.
I think at that part when like the creeper takes both of them, it for me it like no longer became scary. It was just kind of like what's I guess, like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
Well, the creepy thing that happens is like his head explodes like Beetlejuice style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
crazy.
forgot about that. That it
cool.
has like a second form of some kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I wasn't overly terrified as somebody who's terrified of horror movies.
Yeah, I just loved like looking at the effects, like the makeup and the practical
For
effects
2001,
and the
even
shots.
like the wing effects were pretty good.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah.
not bad.
They didn't
Slap 'em on
they didn't
there.
rip me out of the film. Like I was like, they look a little silly, but they didn't try to overdo them. I think too. Like
Helps that the movie like was at dark when during
Yes.
the CG scenes.
Yeah, there's one like goofy shot at the end where Justin
flying
Long is
away.
flying away with the creature, and it's not flying straight.
yeah,
exactly.
the tracking in the sky didn't quite work with the shot, but that's like one scene out of the whole movie. I think they did a
Yeah.
good job of staying within the tech of the time at least, and so the movie holds up.
Absolutely.
Join us next week as we talk about Almost Famous. If you've already forgotten, go to whatremember.com and watch our Halloween recommendation video. Quick shout out and thanks to our friends at the Sketchy Nonsense podcast. Without us asking them to, they went ahead and spent the majority of the start of their recent episode gushing about how much they liked our podcast, which was on their episode 3. In the Sketchy Nonsense podcast, they choose topics to talk about ranging from food, movies, video games, current events, technology, all sorts of interesting stuff, and I highly recommend it. They also have a side podcast on there previewing and reviewing current WWE pay-per-views. They're funny, great guys, and they've already provided me a lot of free entertainment, so thanks to them. Speaking of things you can provide, do us a favor and rate and review this podcast on iTunes. Those reviews bring us higher into the category searches and will also help us secure future ads. And if you leave us a review we'll read it on one of our future episodes. While you're there, subscribe to the Sketchy Nonsense podcast and rate and review them too. As a matter of fact, take the time to rate and review all the podcasts you've been listening to. I was neglecting to do that for a long time.